Abomasnow has the distinction of being the first pre-recorded backport we're running here on the channel. A lot of people on the streams really liked the idea of having a separate side series for backports, so over the coming months we're going to see just how well some of these later generation Pokemon fare, and we're starting with Abomasnow. And just before we get into the meat of this run, I want to apologise for the lack of pre-recorded videos. You might be able to tell in my voice, but I've come down with yet another nasty virus. My immune system is not playing ball this year for some reason, so I'm recording this voiceover in different parts and hoping to at least get 1 or 2 videos out a week again. Now, if you're not familiar with Abomasnow, it was introduced in Diamond and Pearl back in Generation 4. It's a grass and ice type Pokemon, which I believe to this day is still a unique type combination. That is unfortunately for Abomasnow going to give us a bunch of weaknesses, however the offensive ice type will be invaluable throughout the course of this run. So let's now take a look at the stats, and we are level 5 with 21 HP, we're holding a berry and our moves are Powder Snow and Leer, we've got 11 in attack, 10 in defense, 11 in the specials and 9 in speed. They're the stats of our Abomasnow. We have converted its Generation 4 learn set into something a little bit more familiar to Generation 2, and we're going to see just how well Abomasnow does. Our first encounter is a level 2 Pidgey, and Powder Snow makes light work of it just as you'd expect, and we can start making our way towards Mr. Pokemon's house. Just before we reach Mr. Pokemon's house, we knock out a level 3 Caterpie, we grow to level 7 and we learn our first new move. This is Leafage, which was introduced in Generation 7, and it's sort of an analogue of Water Gun and Ember. And now while we're chatting with Mr. Pokemon, I've got a question for all of you. Excluding legendaries and mythicals, which Pokemon do you think would have the easiest time through the Johto games? And conversely, which will have the hardest time? Let me know down in the comments below and I can look at backporting those Pokemon. And now that we're in our first rival battle, I want to say thank you to the wonderful Sprouts, one of the moderators on the channel, who has done a fantastic job with the sprites for both Snova and Abomasnow. I think this is some of the best sprite work I have seen in any backport, and I really am eternally grateful for the help there. We defeated the rival in just a couple of shots, we name him Triple Question Mark, and we can make our way towards Violet City. Because we have an Ice-type move on the learn set, it makes sense to go straight into Sprout Tower when we enter Violet City. Literally every single Pokemon on a trainer's team in Sprout Tower is weak to the Ice-type, so it absolutely makes sense to one-shot all of these Pokemon. Against a Bellsprout, we grow to level 11 and we learn Icy Wind. Icy Wind is a secondary Ice-type move for us. I'd rather run Powder Snow because it's got 100% accuracy. And at the top of the tower we pick up the Flash HM, and now we're going to go straight into the gym. This is where the video format's going to change slightly as we're going back into just the battles. We're going to do a rapid fire gauntlet of all the gyms and all the rival battles in the run. So we start off with Falconer, who we are weak to, but 2 Powder Snows on the Pidgeotto takes care of it, and we knock it out in a time of 7 minutes and 53 seconds. Let's now move on to Azalea Town's gym where Bugsy is waiting for us. Bugsy's a bug-type specialist who leads with Metapod, and again it's 2 shots on the Metapod to knock it out. We are going to be weak to Kakuna's Poison Sting, however we don't get poisoned. And then the Ice type is showing its advantage in early game straight away again. We get taken down to 8 HP, but we freeze the Scyther, we knock it out with a 3rd Powder Snow, and we get the option to learn Icicle Crash. That is a very, very strong Ice-type move with a chance to flinch, and we'll be seeing that in the next battle. It's Rival 2 time, notoriously bad for those Pokemon with 4 times weaknesses. Let's see how bad it is here. We one-shot the Ghastly and we start mud-slapping the Quilava. Unfortunately for us though, Ember takes us down to 11, another Ember hits and we get knocked out. I'll try a couple of resets later and have a lot better luck this time. We 2-shot the Ghastly with Mud Slap, and we're back onto the Quilava. It's the battle of the accuracies as we use Mud Slap and he uses Smoke Screen, and we just about scrape through. We run out of Mud Slaps, but another Icicle Crash knocks it out, and then Zubat is weak to the Ice-type move, so we knock it out as well. We grow to level 19, and we are through Rival 2 in a very, very respectable time. Now let's move on straight away to Whitney's gym. She's a normal type specialist, but she does have Rollout on her learn set. So the Miltank comes out, and by this point we've taught Ice Punch instead of Icicle Crash, and we get knocked out by Rollout. Let's try again, hopefully this time we'll get some better luck. We don't have the greatest speed, so we're holding the Quick Claw that we got from the National Park, and this time luck is very much on our side. Rollout misses, and that means we get 2 Ice Punches to knock it out, and we are through Whitney in a time of 21 minutes and 16 seconds. Let's now move on to the third rival battle in the Burnt Tower in Air Critique City. He leads with Haunter, and there's no way we're outspeeding the Haunter, so we are cursed for the rest of the battle. We headbutt the Quilava and we take huge damage from Ember. Headbutt isn't enough to two-shot it, so we're gonna have to do some grinding. We grind against a few of the trainers near Olivine City, and we also grind up against the Wilds, and we go back at level 30. Let's see if level 30 is the key to getting through this battle. We freeze the Haunter, and that means we're not on a clock for the rest of this battle. Headbutt critical hits and flinches the Quilava, and now it's easy plain sailing from here. Hidden Power Fire makes light work of the Magnemite. It's just Zubat left to go that's weak to Ice Punch. We knock it out, and we are through the third rival battle in a time of just over 35 minutes. Let's see if we can keep this up for Morty. He's our 4th gym leader together. He's a ghost type specialist who led with a Ghastly. Ghastly's a one-shot, as is Haunter, and we are on to his Gengar. Gengar sends us to sleep, but the Mint Berry wakes us up. Hypnosis misses on turn 2, and we are on to his final Haunter. We don't quite one-shot, but he only looks at us funny, and we are through Morty and get the Fog Badge in a time of 37 minutes and 15 seconds. Let's move on to Chuck, another gym leader where we have a type disadvantage. This is our 5th gym leader, and he's a fighting type specialist. Primeape comes out, and we use a combination of Headbutts and Ice Punch to knock it out, and we are on to the Poliwrath. Poliwrath takes one look at us, hits us with a Dynamic Punch, and knocks us out. We are back to square one, and goodness me, I really think that Poliwrath has been sipping on that old secret potion in this run, because it took us another 4 resets until Poliwrath missed the Dynamic Punch. We grew to level 34, and we decline the option to learn Blizzard, and we get our 5th badge in a time of 41 minutes and 5 seconds. And now it's time for the battle of the cool trainers. It's Ice-type Specialist versus Ice-type Specialist with Price. We easily take care of his Seal, and he's on to Piloswine. Piloswine's weak to Energy Ball, so it's another simple one-shot. His final Pokemon is Dugong, that's got the Water type, so it's weak to Energy Ball as well. So 3 one-shots is all it took to take care of Price. We get the Glacier Badge in a time of 48 minutes and 12 seconds. And now, just before taking on Jasmine, we're going to ascend the Lighthouse once more and knock out a set of Birdkeeper's Pokemon. We're doing this so that we can grow to level 40, and we will be evolved for the Jasmine fight. Now, unfortunately, the overlay didn't quite understand what happened when Snover evolved into Abomasnow, but with the help of a little technical wizardry, we were able to get it sorted for the rest of the run. So this is Jasmine, the Steel-type Specialist, and this is the entire reason we had Hidden Power Fire. We one-shot the Magnemite and we take the Steelix into healing range. We take a lot of damage from an Iron Tail, but we get a lucky roll on the second turn. And then it's a mere formality to knock out her second Magnemite, and we get the Mineral Badge in a time of 53 minutes and 25 seconds. Let's now head back to Goldenrod City, where we have the 4th rival battle waiting for us. It's a simple Ice Punch against the Golbat, and out comes Quilava. We have Return at this point, but it's not enough to knock out the Quilava in one, so we did get smoke screened, and we are on to Magnemite. We hit the Magnemite with a Hidden Power Fire, and that brings us on to Haunter. Ice Punch is a one-shot on the Haunter, and his final Pokemon is Sneasel. We use Return against the Sneasel, but it misses, but Sneasel has terrible special attack, so we're easily able to tank a couple of feint attacks and get through the rival in a time of 1 hour, 1 minute and 5 seconds. Let's move on to Claire, a Dragon-type Specialist who led with a fainted Dragonair, and she sends out her Kingdra second. It's 2 shots on the Kingdra as it locks itself into Hyper Beam, and then we've got 2 more Dragonair to knock out. This is one of very few gyms where we have the full type advantage, so we're absolutely going to be reveling in that. We defeat Claire and we obtain the Rising Badge in a time of 1 hour, 8 minutes and 21 seconds. And now we can think about leaving the Johto region, making our way towards the Elite Four. And just as we're about to enter the Pokemon League, we get ambushed by the rival for the final time. He leads with Sneasel this time, and we use Hidden Power to easily knock it out in one shot, and here comes that pesky Typhlosion. Return is not a one-shot still, and we take a lot of damage from a Flame Wheel. We're only on 83 HP as the Golbat comes out, we knock that out in one, and here comes the Magneton. We've still got Hidden Power Fire, so that's another simple one-shot, and his next Pokemon is Haunter. I struggle a little bit to think of what to do, but an Ice Punch takes care of it in one hit. The final Pokemon is Kadabra that's got no physical defense, so we knock it out, and we are through the rival for the last time in a time of 1 hour, 12 minutes and 30 seconds. And now that we're at the Pokemon League, we're going to heal up because we absolutely need it after that rival battle. And we're going to say thank you to the HM friends, so it's thank you to Kenya, to Abra, to Psyduck, and to Paris. You've all been a great help in the Johto region. Get some well-deserved rest as our Abomasnow takes on the league. We'll buy our 4 full restores and we'll take a look at our stats. We're level 51 with 174 HP. We are holding the Scamulet coin with Ice Punch, Return, Energy Ball and Hidden Power Fire. We have 133 in attack, 116 in defense, 136 in special attack, 129 in special defense and 102 in speed. Let's see if that is enough to take us through the league, and our first member is Will. He is a Psychic type specialist who leads with Xatu. Ice Punch is super effective, so we knock it out in one, and here comes Jinx. I decide to use Return against the Jinx and take care of her paper-thin defences, and we are on to Executor. Ice Punch Stab is more than enough to knock that out, and we are already on to the Slowbro. Energy Ball is a very strong move and easily takes care of that, and the final Pokemon is Xatu. We have another strong move for the Xatu, we knock it out. We are through Will in a time of 1 hour, 13 minutes and 48 seconds. Let's move on to Koga. He's a poison type specialist who leads with Ariados. We use Hidden Power Fire against the Ariados to knock it out, and here comes Venomoth. Venomoth's got surprisingly decent special defense, so it does survive a Hidden Power Fire, and we are on to Muck. Now, Muck is a bit of a sticking point because we don't have anything great against it. However, we critical hit and get through it with no issue whatsoever. Hidden Power Fire is 4 times super effective against the Fortress, and that just leaves Crobat. Crobat double teams, but our Ice Punch hits and knocks it out in one, and we are through Koga on our first try. Let's see if Bruno is going to cause any issues. He is a fighting type specialist who leads with Hitmontop. So we use the Return against the Hitmontop and take it deep into the yellow. Another Return knocks it out, and here comes Hitmonlee. And our fortunes really have turned around with the RNG. We critical hit the Hitmonlee, and then Hitmonchan uses Fire Punch instead of Muck Punch to deal very little damage, and once again luck shines upon us. We critical hit the Machamp to knock it out, and that just leaves Onix. Onix is weak to ice, so we knock it out in one hit, and we are through Bruno on our very first try. That was a huge sense of relief. Let's see if our luck continues for Karen. Now, I made a bit of a misplay in this run. When I was looking through the Learn set, I just didn't see Earthquake in there, so I didn't bother picking it up before the rival, and that would have saved about 25 to 30 seconds in this Karen fight. As it stands though, we didn't lose too much time, and Karen wasn't as painful as I thought she would be. Once we freeze the Umbreon, which was really the sticking point of this battle, we're able to give it a good solid try against the Houndoom. We get a King's Rock flinch on the Houndoom and send it into a healing loop, and then we're able to two-shot it. That brings us on to Vileplume, which we have Ice Punch for, so that is a very easy one-shot, and next up is Gengar. Gengar has an Ice Punch with its name on it, and Curse knocks itself out, and the final Pokemon is Murkrow. Murkrow is as simple as another Ice Punch to finish it off, and we are through Karen in a time of 1:17:55. Let's now take on our final obstacle between us and the Hall of Fame. It's Lance time. And Lance really played himself in this battle. We bait out a Rain Dance from the Gyarados and finish it off with 2 Ice Punches, and here comes Charizard. We are 4 times weak to fire, but the rain is up. It didn't matter anyway because we got a critical hit, but that flamethrower would barely have tickled us. We don't get flinched by the Aerodactyl's Rock Slide, and then there are just 3 very weak Dragonite to go. The level 50 goes down in a simple one-shot, and that means it's one-shots for both of the level 47s. We had some fantastic luck in this league, and I am very happy to say that Abomasnow defeated Lance in a time of 1 hour, 18 minutes and 52 seconds. And our final Hall of Fame time is going to be 1 hour, 19 minutes and 8 seconds. That's the first half of this run done, but we've still got another 8 badges plus the red fight left to come. So don't you dare go anywhere. Kanto is next. And we're back in Vermilion City. We've been on the boat and we are ready to take on Kanto. And part of the reason I'm doing a lot of backports at the moment is because we have a new Kanto routing. So our first Kantonian gym leader is Lieutenant Surge. He's an electric type specialist who leads with Raichu. We use Return against the Raichu to knock it out in one shot, and here comes Electrode number 1. It's another one shot on Electrode number 1 with Return, and we still have Hidden Power Fire for the Magneton. That just leaves 2 Pokemon left to go, another level 40 Electrode that goes down to a single return, and his final Pokemon is Electabuzz. It's another one-hit wonder against the Electabuzz, and we get our first Cantonian badge in a time of 1:22.49. Let's move on to Erica. I'm sorry to say to poor Erica, but this is a foregone conclusion. We start off with an Ice Beam against the Tangler, and then we use Return on the Victory Bell to bait out a Sunny Day. The reason I'm baiting out Sunny Day is to conserve our Ice Beam PP and heal up as little as possible, so Sunny Day will combine with our Hidden Power Fire and be able to knock out all of the rest of her team. And with the Jumpluff taken care of, that is all of her Pokemon defeated, and we obtain the Rainbow Badge in a time of 1 hour 24 minutes and 48 seconds. We're now going to take a trip down Cycling Road and face Janine. Janine is known as one of the weakest leaders in Kanto, so it makes sense to take her on as early as feasibly possible. That's why we're going down Cycling Road now and taking on that one mandatory trainer with the Noctowl. That saves an awful lot of time as well, compared to surfing and menuing to get a repel up after we defeated Blaine. Now, we didn't have the cleanest of Janine fights here, but we still get through on our first try and we obtain the Soul Badge in a time of 1:25.54. Now we're going to make our way back to Saffron City and take on Sabrina. She is a Psychic type specialist who leads with Espeon. We use Return against the Espeon and take it deep into the red, another Return knocks it out, and then we are on to Mr. Mime. Mr. Mime's weaker physically than Espeon, so it gets knocked out in one shot, as does the Alakazam. And that was a very simple battle to obtain the Marsh Badge in 1:27.54. Let's take on Misty now, the Water type specialist who leads with Golduck. We still have Energy Ball on our learn set, and all of her Pokemon are weak to Grass. So it's one shot on the Golduck, it's one shot on the Starmie, and it's one shot on the Quagsire. The last Pokemon is Lapras, who's another Ice type Pokemon, but we still one shot it, and we get Misty's badge in a time of 1 hour 30 minutes and 18 seconds. Moving on to Brock now, and he's going to be a very easy battle. He is just 5 one-shots with Energy Ball. So I'm just going to take this opportunity to talk a little bit more about Abomasnow. I think this is one of the most interesting Pokemon I have ever run on the channel, because where it excels, it does very, very well. However, as soon as you come up against a Fire-type Pokemon, if you don't outspeed it and consistently knock it out, then you're going to have an absolute nightmare of a time. We'll be seeing that a little bit later on with the blue and red fights, but for now, let's take on a relatively easy Fire-type specialist in Blaine. He leads with Magcargo, which of course Energy Ball is neutral to, and here comes the Bumhead Fireduck. Return knocks it out in one, and that just leaves Rapidash. We use Return against the Rapidash and take it deep into the red. Fire Blast doesn't one-shot us, and he gets caught in a healing loop. So it's 2 further returns to knock it out, and we obtain our penultimate badge in a time of 1:33.56. So now let's take on our final gym leader. This is Blue, a mixed type specialist who leads with Pidgeot. We have a very good time against Pidgeot because it is weak to ice, so we knock it out in one shot, and here comes the sticking point. This Arcanine is very, very powerful against us. Even a King's Rock flinch would not be good enough with Return, so we're going to have to change strategy. And after far longer than I care to admit reading through the learn set, suddenly Earthquake popped out to me. So we take a trip back to Victory Road and we pick up the Earthquake TM, and we're going to say goodbye to Hidden Power Fire, and we're going to say hello to another physical move in Earthquake in its place. This is going to at least be super effective against the Arcanine, so hopefully it'll prove a little bit better. We still one-shot the Pidgeot and we are back onto that pesky Arcanine. We use Earthquake and it is a one-shot with a critical hit. That means we're onto Alakazam and we can at least see the rest of this battle. We one-shot the Alakazam, taking a little bit of damage from Psychic, and then we get some much needed relief with Rhydon. That brings us onto Gyarados, and once again this Gyarados is going to Rain Dance just like Lance's. That means that Ice Beam is a 2-shot and his final Pokemon is Exeggutor. Exeggutor's another simple one-shot with Ice Beam. We knock it out, we grow to level 62, and we are through Blue and obtain the Earth Badge in a time of 1:36.45. So now, after having a chat with Professor Oak, we have unlocked Mount Silver and we can start making our way there. We have just one battle left to go. This is Red, he is the final trainer of the game, and by far our hardest battle in the entire run. So let's see how we get on. As always, we'll start with our current level and use our rare candies in a pattern of 3, then 3, then 4. So we get outsped by the Pikachu, but Thunder misses a couple of resets later, and we are on to Charizard. Charizard's Flamethrower is a one-shot, and we have to use our first 3 rare candies. We're up to level 65 and we still don't outspeed Pikachu, but as long as Charm or Thunder misses, we have a chance to at least try and attack the Charizard. And it's the same story. We get hit by Flamethrower and we get instantly knocked out. We use another set of rare candies and hope for the best, but it is still not looking good for us. We only have 154 in battle speed, and the Pikachu speed is 171 in battle. That means we stand absolutely no chance against this Charizard. Flamethrower is still a one-shot, so we're putting in our final 4 rare candies that we have at the moment. We are now level 72. I decided to take the hit from Thunder because honestly 35 HP is neither here nor there for the Charizard. We don't outspeed and that means we're gonna have to find some levels from somewhere. So let me introduce you to my very good friend Buena. She has her very own radio show between 6 PM and midnight here in Goldenrod City, and for every 3 answers you get correct on her password game, you will be able to buy a rare candy. So what we're going to do is we're going to take advantage of running GameHook. This is a software that allows me to display all the information about the Pokemon on screen, but we also use it to change the day. So for instance, when I pick up the Sharp Peak just west of Olivine City, I will go into GameHook and I'll change the day to Monday, so that Moniker of Monday has the Sharp Peak waiting for us. We can take advantage of this here, so if we change the clock after we've answered Buena's password, we're able to answer another question, and that means that we just need to do that a total of 30 times to get 10 rare candies, and that is actually an awful lot quicker than going through the Pokemon League, because you have to sit through a lot of cutscenes, and also with a Pokemon like Abomasnow, I don't trust it to get the same luck it had on the first run through the league. So we start off with another 6 rare candies, and we're going to use them in another 3 then 3 pattern. We still don't outspeed the Pikachu, but we are getting very close. At level 78, we finally outspeed Pikachu, so at long last we don't need to do the Charm Shuffle anymore. However, we still have this Charizard to worry about, and at level 78 we don't outspeed and Flamethrower is still a one-shot. I get another 4 rare candies off Buena's assistant, and we're going to dump them all in. We're going to see how we do at level 82. Red comes back with his Pikachu and we know that's irrelevant now, it's a simple one-shot. We are back onto Charizard, and our luck has turned around. We now outspeed the Zard at level 82. Let's try it one more time. We're going to try and freeze the wings of that pesky fake dragon. So we are back onto Charizard, we use Ice Beam and we get the freeze. That means we are on full health for the rest of this battle and we can finally see that Espeon. I use Return against the Espeon to take it deep into the red, but a Reflect does come up. We knock it out in our second attempt though, and we are on to Snorlax. We use Ice Beam against the Snorlax as he uses Amnesia, but we get a very lucky critical hit to knock it out. That brings us on to Venusaur, which is a simple one-shot with Ice Beam, and the final Pokemon is Blastoise. We have the type advantage over Blastoise, we knock it out with a single energy ball, and we have defeated Red in a time of 1 hour, 56 minutes and 1 second. Goodness me, what a tough Red fight poor old Abomasnow had there. Please do let me know if you think we should carry on using Buena's password instead of the league for extra levels at Red. And that finishing time of 1 hour, 56 minutes and 1 second puts Abomasnow in 9th place on our Backport leaderboard. That was a very tricky Red fight for Abomasnow, so I think that time is perfectly respectable. Up at the top of this leaderboard is Zangoose with a 1:15.05, and that is the quickest time we've ever had in a run. But with that, we are done. So I'm going to say thank you all so much for watching. It's been a pleasure as always. Once again, apologies about my voice, but if you did enjoy this run, please do leave a like. If you want to see more backports just like this, then click the subscribe button. And until next time, I'll say thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all very, very soon.